Remember when you were a kid and you used to make a cardboard that you thought was like real? I'm just an adult now. Isn't that cool?
Resting his head on a bash bar.
Things I do to go racing. Snips.
Metal.
Oh, it's tight. It's kind of tight in here.
Any thoughts?
Welcome back to Just Another Car Show. My name is Sam, and this is our S13 240SX drift car, the not so nice version of the red car we have. This car is built to be a pure race car and a pure race car only. Last time you saw this car, me and John pulled out the subframe. This time, we are going to be building a Firewall. A couple things we have done since the last time you saw it. One thing that we did was we welded up the subframe. Basically, we bought this car coming with extra parts, as you saw in one of the first videos, and we used some of those extra parts we had were actually chassis stiffening parts. So basically, we welded a bunch of plates to the subframe to make sure it was more stable, and then we added some solid bushings to make sure that it was going to not sway in the rear. It was more of a predictable car when we go to the track. So we're gonna send it off to get it sandblasted first. We just haven't gotten to that point yet. But while we're on that, last week, me and John made the dash for the car. This is it finished painted. We are gonna add some clear coat to this. We haven't gotten completely done with it yet. But basically this is the dash that is going to go in like so in the car. And it's gonna have the same sparkle that we painted the front with and everything like that. We just cut this out of a piece of sheet metal. It doesn't look the best in the world, but it looks good. Today, we are going to be building the rear firewall. In drift cars, a very important thing is our fuel cell is in the back, as well as maybe eventually might actually put the radiators in the back of this car as well. You know, you don't really wanna have the chance of something exploding back there or catching on fire and then it getting up to you. So basically we're gonna start in the rear of this car. We're gonna be building a firewall that goes from here and then down to cover off this back section. So we're gonna take some cardboard and we're basically gonna make a template kind of like so that goes all down here, all up here, and then we will get a big piece of metal, which we have some 18 gauge or 20 gauge metal that we will then jigsaw cut this out of.
What are you gonna do with that table?
We're gonna make some art with some cardboard. Remember when you were a kid and you used to make shit out of cardboard that you thought wasn't real? Did you do that?
This is the adult version of it.
I'm just an adult now.
55 inches is the measured distance from the bottom of our sheet of metal we'll need all the way up and over the curve, so it can sit on the back of the car and then shield that whole opening in the back of the car.
There we go. This is our new working piece. So we're gonna go back to the car now and we're gonna start fitting this thing. First thing we're gonna figure out is how long. Basically, we're gonna create this curve here from here over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a measuring tape. We're gonna start with first the maximum length. We're gonna come to this point here. It's 1 foot to here. So 27.5, this is middle. And then from where middle is, because this is the top of our thing, we gotta figure out 1 foot from here. That's our middle point for where the bend happens. So the bend happens here.
This is where the peak of the bend is.
Yeah, so what we can do is we actually run foot on my side, you come down a foot on your side, and then we're gonna draw a line all the way across this as flat as we can. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find out what the inside of this is. Come from the bend up to where we see it start moving, which is at 5.5 inches. Okay. And what we gotta do is we have to create now our curve. As we see, this comes to here and then takes pretty much a pretty even curve around the whole thing. So it comes up pretty harsh, and probably about here it isn't very harsh. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure in, let's say, I don't know. So at 8 inches in, the curve is at about 10, we'll call it 10.5 inches. So at 8 inches in, we're 10.5 inches up. So the angle from here to here is, because this is 5 inches, so it angles almost 5 inches from here.
Right.
And then from that point forward, it only angles an inch and a half. This is not the most accurate way of doing this, we'll be completely honest, but you'll see why we do this later, because basically we're gonna use tape, like we do with the dash. We're basically use tape to make up the difference. This right here, so the cage comes up, and then from here curves into this dot here, and then from this dot to this middle dot, and then from that middle dot to that dot, and then back there. This seems very non-scientific, but if you keep your hand in somewhere of the same place, and you doodle a ton of it, like this, you will find a middle-ish point in this setup. That's our curve-ish. And we don't have to be perfect with this. This is going to change later, but it has to be close-ish. And does it seem so stupid that I just did that by hand? Yeah. But we don't have a 3D scanner. So this is how you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, these luxury cars that we build here, you'll only see them on Jack's. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Just want to shove this up in here.
You're kind of in there.
Isn't that cool? Now we need to start making our bend. Make a slit on this, not cut through it, but we're gonna make a slit on this now so it bends easier. Then we're gonna measure down. I think what we should do is measure down from here how much it is till the first roll bar piece. Strip it down to here. Cool. So now, basically we have our main piece here. Now right here, we're gonna get our bend down, so goes down. Okay, so we're touching in a few places, obviously. One big place we're touching is on the fender, on the wheel wells.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. So you just gotta figure out the wheel wells, we're gonna cut those out. 6 inches in on either side. So 4.5 inches down, 6 inches in. We're basically cutting out a square here out of our cardboard to go over top of this, and then we'll slowly, as we find things we hit, as we try to shove this cardboard down, we're gonna cut things out that will each hit something until we've cut enough stuff out that this piece fits in perfectly. So we'll be cutting, coming back, cutting, coming back, cutting, coming back, cutting, coming back. Building race cars. We're building race cars. Let's shove it back in.
Nice.
It's not gonna be perfect yet, but we're gonna bend this down.
It'll be better than it was.
So bend it all the way down. So, what are we hitting on now? We are hitting on roll bar pieces. So what I'm thinking we do, and this is, you tell me what you think, Ben.
Okay.
But I think what we do is we cut out the middle. So we're gonna leave all this open for now. We'll eventually fill it with another piece. We just make a piece that goes from here straight down. Shove this piece in there.
Let's shove it in.
Shove the top in. Bend this thing down.
Oh yeah.
Basically, we're at a point where we don't have anything more to cut down as of now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put tape on the back of this to hold the top of this in, so then we can do a little more bending and shaping and shit. And then we'll start using some tape and more cardboard to kind of fit this as we want to. So.
You in?
Are you? Oh god. Go down. I think we just make it go down.
That's actually pretty nice.
And how far do we want to go down? Do we want to go all the way down to here?
Here. I thought we were getting.
I think we gotta get like, yeah. I think we gotta go
right
like
up to that.
So that is our straight piece there that goes down. So this will come out as one unit, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we should be able to pull that whole piece of cardboard out.
In theory. Basically, we're just using this tape as like lines. Throw a piece of tape there, for example. I need to put one too. So I think that is probably good for that, you think?
All right, other side, here we go.
This side's not still as flush as the other one was.
Resting his head on a bash pot.
Just the things I do.
Race car.
To go racing. That's pretty much that.
She's a little squeaky. Yo, nice!
So you just saw us take this piece out of the inside of the car. It obviously is ugly as hell, but it does fit on our piece of metal, barely. Kind of looks like a weird mushroom. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this piece flatter first, and then we're gonna trace this whole thing. And then we're going to cut it out with a jigsaw, and then put it back in where that one came out. And then we have a firewall things, race car things. Nice. Sick.
Here comes the shroom.
be some finagling. That's pretty freaking close.
I mean, for the cardboard job, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's pretty much it.
We're gonna leave this in here and kind of let it shape while we make the bottom ones.
Yeah, let's make some more pieces, I guess.
This is the baby steps of the interior of the drift car. So what we were thinking is if he makes this one for this side, we can just flip it and it'll be this one over here.
Might be able to just tape the gap up here.
Oh yeah. Just use the tape to form it. Oh, okay.
Finish. We can trim it down later.
Trim that.
All right, cool.
But yeah, that's pretty
Okay,
much it.
we'll just throw it in there and then we'll trim it later.
All right, so we'll make 2 of these.
Yep, 2 of these.
Sick.
Let's do it.
See you in a sec out there by our craft table.
We're going to do a little bit of a fill-in job on this one because there's a couple things we got to fill in because we weren't the most accurate people in the entire world.
How do you want to do these?
Snips!
Nice, there's the corner. How's it look?
Metal.
Metal.
Oh, it's tight. That fits pretty good.
That looks really good, dude.
Yeah, let's just go cut it. The same exact one.
Oh, and then we can just trim it. The way
Yeah,
we
and then
need.
we'll trim it based off of it.
Okay. All right, here she comes, number 2.
So already,
It's too thin.
some of this got to come off.
Nice. I need to start sleeping better. Close?
I think we're there.
Yeah. So this is how you prevent yourself from catching on fire while you're driving.
It's pretty much a finished firewall.
Yeah, right there.
Oh my
What are you thinking?
Wow. I think we're getting good at this. I think we got it.
Better.
It's not perfect, but it's there.
It's also a lot easier than a bash bar, a custom shaped bash bar.
Yeah, pretty much. I think this is way easier. Yes. Well, it's kind of tight in here.
Any thoughts?
So the whole firewall is done now. It is not tacked in place just yet. We're gonna wait till we get a couple more things done around that area before we tack it in. But next time we'll be doing some pedal box stuff and maybe installing some brakes on this car. We're gonna get pretty close to doing that, as well as brand new handbrake and installing the subframe that we cleaned up last time. So thanks for watching so much, and make sure you like and subscribe and continue to watch these videos. And yeah, bye.
Yo, we see you watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.